Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Marquette Golden Eagles Dynasty here on NCAA Football 14. Today, we're just going to overview everything here in the spring. And as you can see, we have an initial look at our recruiting board. Debuting at the top is Craig Watkins, the 25th ranked tight end out of Livonia, Michigan. A 3-star, and we need some tight ends in this recruiting cycle. We're going to be losing 2. We only have 3 on the roster, so that will leave us with just 1 after this season. So we need to bring in at least 2, and Craig Watkins is our top choice. Then we have Ted Ross here and Jack Mason, both blocking tight ends, and I really like what they bring in that department. And as you can see, we only have them halfway scouted, and I am going to bring a different approach this year to scouting. I'm only going to scout guys halfway up until we actually get them committed. And then at that point, I'll fully scout them. So at least there's some sense of like mystery and surprise at that point. We just don't scout them all at once. Then we have a quarterback here, Michael Smith, the only quarterback interested, really. We had maybe 1 or 2 more, but they were outside our region, and they were really low overall. At this point, we'll just go position by position and check these guys out. He's also from Germantown, Wisconsin, which is where we got a defensive end in this last cycle. And Michael Smith, he looks to be a solid passer, not much of an athlete, but 6'5", 222. You really like that size, and he'd bring a different skill set than the other quarterbacks we have on the roster right now. We also need to bring in at least 1 running back. Actually probably 2 at least, because we're losing 4, and we only have 2 on the roster right now. Sam Manning is actually our highest rated recruit on our entire board. I think like 330 on the national board or something like that. Good size at 6'2", 192. Comes from a pipeline state, although he doesn't look to be the best athlete with C speed, C agility, but good ball carrier ratings, especially the juke move at B. And then Michael James, not to be confused with former Oregon superstar LaMichael James. He's out of Battle Creek, Michigan, the 84th ranked running back, more of a power skill set. And the trucking at 72, elusiveness 74. Juke 76, vision 75. So very balanced runner, 71 strength. You like that at running back, but the C speed, C acceleration, hopefully that gets a little bit of a boost. Coming over here to receiver, and we want to bring in at least 1 receiver, ideally 2. And our top target here is Dylan Anderson, 6'4", 220. So he brings some very good size, something we don't have in the receiving core right now. And we lead him right now, the 174th receiver. And we have scouted him already halfway. 81 acceleration, very bad agility at 74. Decent catch in traffic, I guess. C route running, so at least that should be pretty good. But the catching, spec catch at D, not too great. So maybe someone we redshirt, although we might need him to just hit the field in next season. Then there's Doug Childress at JUCO, and he debuts as a 73 overall, and we haven't scouted him at all yet, but a lot of B's, and especially athletically, and then B for route running, spec catch, catch in traffic, all at B. So probably someone who would come in and contribute from day one in what is kind of a fairly weak receiving core. So hopefully we can get Anderson and Childress, although Tyrell Robinson here, a backup playing the 200th ranked receiver in the nation, just Buffalo and Ohio in on him. And we kind of spoke about the tight ends earlier. Craig Watkins, our top target this season, along with Ted Ross, Jack Mason. Hopefully we can get Watkins and then one of Ross and Mason, and then Patrick Barrett here, a backup plan. We need to bring in probably 3 linemen, and we only have 3 on our board, so we're going to go heavy at these guys, although they're not the highest rated players. Probably guys who won't see the field until maybe their junior year, although they probably would all redshirt this next season. Richard Walker, the top guy at 62 overall, the 121st guard, and then at tackle we have Travis Thomas here, 139. Athlete, we'll go to athlete. Actually, we'll go to athlete, is what I was trying to say there. Rick Kent. So he's actually 6'6", 285, and he does have defensive tackle traits, but I'm assuming he would also translate on the offensive line, because why else would he be an athlete? Because he's obviously a D tackle. You don't really put him anywhere else. Maybe D end, I guess. But I think he would have availability to play on the offensive line, so maybe he's another option. But like I said, we're not going to scout him until we get him committed, although I don't think it even shows offensive line traits, unfortunately. At D end, Zachary Wright, a 70 overall. We only really need one D end in this class to make up for Barry Barber graduating, and he's our top option. Ryan Hudson, a backup plan. At D tackle, we did have that athlete who I just showed, and then Jake Witherspoon, our top option. Otherwise, we lead Michigan for him right now. Haven't scouted him at all yet, although C power move, C block shed, C strength. Looks to be a pretty good player. John Daniels, a backup plan there. And then we actually have 8 linebackers on the board. I didn't realize we had so many, but we do need to bring in like 3 at least. So Jonathan Leak, Tommy Brown are two of our higher rated guys. And then at middle linebacker, Chris Carter, great football name, along with Joe Carroll. And then here's Ernie Benjamin, a JUCO, 1-star. So he's someone who is just kind of a backup plan, although maybe after scouting he does go up a little bit. And then Steve Owens, Mike Green, Adam Mills, just other backup plans. Because like I said, we really do need to add a few linebackers, probably our biggest need this offseason, along with tight end. Josh Richards, our lone corner on our board. We'll target him, although 6 foot, 169, definitely needs to add a little bit of weight. And then we do have 6 safeties here. Probably need to bring in like 3. Kevin Davis out of Superior, Wisconsin, a JUCO, 75 overall. Go over to his scouting. He does have 84 hit power, 82 pursuit, B speed, 84 agility, good tackle, good zone. So someone who would come in, probably be an impact player right away. And here in year 3, we're already on to our 3rd starting free safety. Each have graduated. It's been a senior each season. And maybe after this year, I think it's probably going to be Demetrius Bush. Maybe Kevin Davis comes in and takes the starting job there. Then we have some other players, Michael Love, Jason Taylor, another great NFL name, and then some other backup plans. We do have a kicker just in case, and we actually do lead for Stephen Ross. Obviously, he's going to be more of a secondary option at this point. We're not going to prioritize his recruiting because we need to bring in a lot of players. We're about to lose 22 players to graduation, and then we also already have 3 extra roster spots right now. Then we have an athlete here, Dominic Green, and it looks like he's probably a safety, maybe a linebacker, 6'3", 204, C speed, so probably not a corner, although he does have good coverage rating, 77 man, C zone, C press. Very good tackler, so like I said, probably a safety, but we're not quite sure. Definitely not an offensive player, although he does have a 63 route running, but otherwise no redeemable traits on offense. And that's pretty much it here for recruiting. That's the initial look at the board. And like I said, we need to bring in a ton of players, so we're going to be super active, and it's going to be a very big challenge this season. And I'm trying to secure all these guys, as we still are very limited in our recruiting resources. It's going to be heavy tight end, linebacker, and we got to get a quarterback, of course. We're only going to have 2 next year. We need to get a running back. Really just need to get at least 1 or 2 guys at each position, it seems like. So now we'll look at our schedule, and I was a little disappointed that it's a strength of schedule. It's only a C. I thought at least, they got to give us a C+. We do have 2 ranked teams here, UL-Lafayette, the defending runner-up, as they lost to Alabama in the Natty, and they opened the season at 25 in the polls. We have a rematch here with a home-and-home against Louisville, as we'll host them this season. They enter the season at number 13, although they do lose Teddy Bridgewater, Eli Rogers, and Gerald Christian, a bunch of offensive firepower. We'll then hit the road against Florida Atlantic. I like to get the guys out of the Midwest a little bit down into the sunshine, so we'll play the Owls, and then a home game against Arkansas State, and then we'll finally get our first bye in Week 6, which will be much needed as we prepare for a game at Mississippi State. It's going to be our first game against an SEC team, and we're going to be set to face Dak Prescott there for the Bulldogs. Then we play the Bulldogs again, although this is the Fresno State Bulldogs. This at the road in Fresno. Get the team out to Cali, and Davante Adams on this team for Fresno State. Then it gets a little easier down the home stretch. Back-to-back home games, UAB, Mid-Tennessee State. This is UAB's first season as an independent, as they kind of got disbanded at this point in history, so I kind of just made them an independent, and we'll have a matchup against them, a fellow independent team. Middle Tennessee State has a few guys. I think Kevin Byard at safety on that team. Then back-to-back road games at Connecticut, who's been a very good football team throughout the first 2 years of this dynasty, at Louisiana Tech, and I think that's always a team that comes out tough. And then we'll finish the year versus Central Michigan, our only MAC opponent of the year, and that's going to be senior day for year 3. So no Big Ten opponents this year. We played Northwestern twice and then Purdue as well last season. And in the opening year, we played Indiana. So we'll definitely get back to the Big Ten next season, probably Wisconsin. I'm thinking we'll start playing them maybe each year as like a little rivalry game, an in-state type thing. So going over to red shirts now. And this is a quick look at the quarterbacks, and we're going to have a little quarterback competition here in a few moments in some practice. I don't really know how to go about it. There's not going to be much structure, but we're just going to throw each of these guys out for a few plays, a few series, and see what they can do. Just a little recap on their skill set. So Reuben Brown and Greg Walker are probably the better runners, although Lawrence Jackson the better straight line speed compared to Walker. Reuben Brown 81 speed, Walker 73, Jackson 77, and Jackson really lacks in the agility and acceleration. Reuben Brown very good with 77 agility, and then him and Walker each have 75 acceleration. Brown leads with awareness at 71, Walker the lowest at 57, Jackson pretty much in the middle. Walker good break tackle, very good elusiveness, the best carrier vision, good spin, and a very good juke at 77. 68 carrying. Reuben Brown has a 70 carrying. So Greg Walker, our best runner by far, I would say. Throwing now, Brown's up to a 76 power, 75 accuracy. So probably the worst arm, although Jackson very inaccurate with his 71 accuracy. But the strongest arm with 82. And then Walker, he's just the most neutral, 78 throw power, 78 accuracy. And I think I've said in past episodes, I really do favor him over Lawrence Jackson, the two freshman quarterbacks we were able to commit. Injury rating, Jackson the lowest at 78, and their stamina all pretty much even. I just wanted to forecast our quarterback situation. We have the redshirt senior Brown battling here against the two freshman quarterbacks. And let me know, who do you prefer at this point, just looking at their stats? Of course, we'll get a little live looking, but who do you prefer now? And I want to know if that stays the same after we get a look at all these guys. So at running back, we have the 4 seniors. That's going to be a brutal hit after this season. It's going to be kind of tough mixing all these guys in this year, although we have done pretty well with it in the past 2 seasons. I think definitely last year we excelled getting all these guys mixed in. So Dusty Alexander was our highest rated recruit in the last cycle. I think he was 299 in the nation. So just based on that, I'm not going to redshirt him. I don't want to redshirt the higher profile guys we get in to the program. So I'll leave him be. It's going to be hard to even mix him in, but hopefully we can get him some reps, and hopefully he stays with us next year in line to be the starter and he doesn't transfer due to lack of playing time this year. Craig Jones, we're going to redshirt, a 63 overall, just a 2-star. And what I really liked about him was his spin move and juke move at 84, 82 respectively. Wide receiver, we're going to redshirt 2-star Kenneth Pope, good size at 6'3", 190. Although the agility at 71, acceleration at 77, very bad. So he needs to improve as an athlete, and the 58 catching is abysmal. Although spec catch at 79, catch in traffic 77, pretty good. So he just has to he only makes catches when there's guys on him, it seems. On offensive line, we only redshirted Marquise Cole. He was a 2-star center, kept him in state. And I think that's it besides a couple linebackers. Yeah, I think we're I don't know why I didn't even redshirt Bobby Price last year as a freshman, but we're just going to go ahead and redshirt him now. Typically, I don't redshirt players past their freshman year, but we're going to make an exception in this case, and we're also going to redshirt James Johnson, only a 204-pound linebacker. Hopefully he adds on like 10 to 15 pounds and comes back ready to play, as we are going to lose like 3 or 4 linebackers. As I said, that's going to be a big need in recruiting. At corner, we're going to keep freshman Aaron Clark and Robert Williamson active, but redshirt Mike Carroll. And that's going to do it with the red shirts. We're going to keep Mark Henry. I like that he was an athlete, and we're going to try to work him in a little bit. And we're also going to redshirt here Fred Castillo. I showed before that we did have a kicker on our recruiting board, but I don't know how much resources we're going to be able to pour into him. So Castillo only 65 kick power, so we're going to try and get an upgrade, but if not, we're probably going to have to roll with him next year as Dylan Mackey will graduate. So with that, we're going to jump into the quarterback battle. And like I said, I don't really have structure for it. I rarely have ever done practice in this game, and I've tinkered with it a little bit, and I noticed that it's kind of bland. You know, you don't really get a big experience. It's kind of just play by play, and you don't get to put together like a drive or anything, which is kind of annoying. I don't know why they would make it like that, but anyway, we're going to jump into it and see how it goes. So we'll start with Ruben Brown here out of the shotgun and see what he can do. Just a dump off there for Cooper. The defense blitzing, really hard to get something off on this one. Good coverage over the middle, and Brown's hit that time. Call this one just maybe a couple more times and then switch, as he had nothing really open. That time he hooks up with Thad Archibald over the middle. Going to be our slot receiver this year. I'll just do the slant one more time. And he's ripped down there by Rob Bain. And that's the transfer from Illinois. So let's switch it up here. And like I said, it's really bland. Like, you can't really do anything. You just can call a new play. I wish you were able to, like, lead a drive. But it doesn't let you do that, unfortunately. I think now we'll go for more of a... Like, at this point, I'm not even looking. I'm just picking a random defensive play. And here I think we'll go for more of a deep shot. Brown directly under center, drops back. Goes for Cooper, and that's almost intercepted there by Kenny Johnson. Does he have the impact player? That's our sophomore corner. All right, we'll try it again here. Go right back to Cooper, and again, same result. Let's try Pinson this time. And he can't even get that one off. That was Barry Barber on the pressure. And like I mentioned last episode, I think that our defensive line is going to be a huge strength this season. Just dump it off for Norwood that time. I'll just do this play one more time. I think they're just bringing pressure on most of these plays. We'll roll out to the right a little bit. Go downfield for Darby. And he doesn't even react. Let's try that one more time. Roll out to the right again. Let's go more to the sideline. And he gets him that time. Let's do it one more time. Let's see. Oh, that's beautiful. I don't know if he got the foot in that time, but we might have something with that play. Let's do one more pass play a few times, then we'll do a read option or something. Try some play action. I'm so hesitant to call play action. I just feel like you just get sacked. And look, they come out with a stacked front. Wow, Norwood just got tossed to the ground that time. And an easy touchdown for Cooper. See if that works again. They're going to just bring the house, right? But Cooper's not open on the run. And that's not who we were going for. Oh my goodness, Norwood is getting demolished. Is that Bain? Bain is just like causing havoc. I don't think he's really making any friends in this practice session. At least not on the O-line. He's just tearing everybody up. Brown just gets away. Was that Bain on the hit? And like I said, let's do a option play now. And if you have some suggestions with the format I should do this, I was kind of going to maybe do a scoring system, but I thought that would be a little too tedious, so I just figured we'll just go off the cuff and see how it goes. Brown so far not doing too bad. It was kind of a rough start out of the gate, but other than that, he's kind of settled down a little bit. So we'll do a read option to get his athleticism. Good block outside, although Pinson really couldn't hold it at the last second there. Good blocking. Brown breaks free, and he scores. Nice. Okay. Let's see if we can do that again. And like I said last episode as well, this is by far the best offensive line we've had thus far in the series, I believe. And you see Heidemann, number 76, our left tackle transfer from Miami of Ohio, getting into the second level. Do it again. And Barry Barber is there every time, but he just can't make the play. Do it one more time, and then maybe we'll flip it. He does make the play that time. No, that was actually a Davin Rice, middle linebacker. So we'll flip it, go to the right side now. Just run into our guy. Love that. do it again. Good plays at Armstrong. He's going to be a problem this year, Daniel Armstrong. Linebacker converted to end. Still probably starting at left outside linebacker. Just going to use him as much as we can. Let's go to the right side one more time. Then we'll go back to a pass play for Brown. And then I think we'll throw in Greg Walker. Let's go one more time. See if we could beat Armstrong this time on the edge. And he goes for the running back that time. Brown breaks ahead. All right, let's go back to a pass and see what we got in Brown. So far, I kind of like what I see. You know, he's a redshirt senior. He's been around. He knows the system, but that doesn't always equate to playing well on the field. So it looks like we're gonna be up against another blitz here, and a quick pass there for Cooper. I want a new defense. Maybe I should be looking at these plays that I'm picking, because we're just ending up with blitzes every single time. All right, definitely the last set here for Brown. Go with the counter strike, see if we get that corner out. Around the I formation. Brown on the drop back. We'll just dump this off for Cooper. They covered up the corner out pretty well there. We'll have Pinson over the middle, definitely not open. Just dump it off for Cooper again. And Cooper, I would not be surprised if he's our leading receiver. Ideally, it's Jordan Pinson, but I feel like Cooper's just more stable. Let's just give Brown a scramble. Not bad, not bad. A couple more times, then we'll throw out Greg Walker, our first quarterback commit of the series. He finds Darby downfield, showing good chemistry there with Randall Darby. Let's just go a vertical route on Pinson up against the press. We'll get Cooper to block. Although they do have the safety up top. And we'll try that one more time, and then we'll call it a day here with Ruben Brown. We should roll to the left a little bit, get some space. And nope. That did not work. All right, so we're going to get our first look now at Greg Walker, my personal favorite. And I'm not too, I don't mind really what, I think Ruben Brown was pretty good there. I guess we got to call one more play. Let's just make it a run. Get out there, Cooper, block. All right, now we got Greg Walker, and we'll just call a new play. And see how tedious it is? You got to keep going back, calling new plays just to, like, call it over and over again. Why doesn't it let you pick the play, like a different play each time? Kind of bizarre. I think we started Brown with some slants, so we'll just do that with Walker. And he actually does have the impact player. I like his quick release. How does the game, like, determine impact player? Because he didn't even open as our number one quarterback on the depth chart, so that's kind of interesting. Maybe they're trying to tell us something. That was a bad decision. I should have went towards the sideline with that one. Picked off by Kenny Johnson, who the game has assigned as an impact player, even though he's not a starting corner. I guess he's our starting slot. Slant over there for Darby. So I don't think Brown threw an interception, right? Just Walker starts with one. That was rough. I was trying to scramble outside, ran into Storm Norwood. So it's not going too well here for Walker to start. With the blitzer there, we'll dump it off for Dixon. Good moves there by Scott Dixon, hoping he can emerge a little more this season. With how many receivers we lost, we'll probably just run mainly 3 wide receiver sets, maybe a few 4, but I don't expect us to be as heavy with the 5 receiver sets as we were last season. Roll to the right this time. See if we get him at the sideline, and it's almost picked off by Davin Rice. It's called the standard pass, or maybe a deep pass this time. And after we get through watching these quarterbacks, we'll advance to the actual season, and we'll get our first look at the top 25 and, the Heisman watch and all that good stuff. Go with the play action here. I want to get a little more comfortable with play action this year. We'll dump that off for Jeff Harris. The right bumper button did work that time. It works in practice. We'll see if it works in the game. Oh my goodness, nothing open downfield. And yeah, you're so susceptible to taking the sacks here on the play actions. Trying to dump that off for Harris, couldn't get rid of it. Run another play action. See if we can get Darby over the middle. And Kenny Johnson, another impact play. Showing great range and quickness closing on the ball. I stressed that last episode. We need guys with ball skills in here. Our secondary can't force any incompletions. And we barely had any pass breakups either. This play action pass play not really working too well. We're getting rocked there at left tackle. Trying to throw on the run, and he does connect with Darby. I don't think Pinson's made an entire catch this whole practice session. Keep Cooper to block this time, see if we could open up anything, and it doesn't. Would that have been a fumble? Let's call a different play, and then maybe we'll go to a option. Try some sluggos here. I haven't really done any slant goes at all thus far. Good spin move there on the interior. I'm pretty sure that was Rob Bain. Just have to dump it off that time. Still out in the I formation. And that was a weird one. Picked off by Juice Campbell. Miscommunication there with Darby. And Rob Bain is just terrorizing our line. I love it, but I hate it, but I love it at the same time. You know, it's bittersweet. We're trying to get something going here with Greg Walker. We'll just have to dump it off for Norwood again. I'll try this play one more time. Roll to the right. Ay, ay, ay. Just gets away. Can we? I was trying to throw it deep for B. Couldn't get it. All right, let's give him a run play. It's not going too hot here for Greg Walker. Our defense is looking good, though, I must say. And Brown, he was really good running those options. Let's see if Walker can make up for his deficiencies in the passing game. I think it's probably going to just be this end result every time. Who's that in contain? Robert Williamson, our freshman corner. He's going to be a starter alongside Juice Campbell. This time he commits to the running back. Walker really couldn't get anything going outside. Let's flip it this time. See if it works better to the right. It's Antonio Carr at left defensive end, freshman. He sells out to the running back. Good block by Cooper. Walker bounces off the pile. Works ahead to the 20. This time we'll take it. Up to the 20 again. And let's go back to the pass, and then maybe we'll call it a day with Greg Walker. I mean, I really like his release. You know, some quarterbacks, it just feels good, you know, throwing with them. And we'll finish with a corner strike at this point. Yeah, I guess we come out in a goal line. I just called a timeout. Oh, wow. So I can call a timeout, and I can change the play that way. That's good to know after I'm, like, halfway through this. So the four receivers, Scott and Wakpour, number 38, the transfer from Ball State. Walker takes the snap. Risk it there for Thad Archibald. And there's like 3 defenders in the area. Thought we might be able to sneak it in. Look the other way this time. Scott and Wakpour at the sideline, and they hook up. Scott and Wakpour are a pretty good athlete, but his catching traits are like all sub 70. So drops were a huge concern last year, and they might be that again this year. Let's go back to Squat and Wakpour. Actually, we'll try and dump it off, but we get sacked. Maybe if we should just have Norwood in a blocking role on this play, and that just goes out of bounds. We'll try it this time. Norwood's blocking. That should help out a little bit. Definitely have more time. Wanted that towards the sideline more. We'll just give him a couple more and then throw in Lawrence Jackson. Ooh, that was covered well. I was looking for Scott and Wakpour, and that's a sack from the freshman Carr. Let's go a vertical with Archibald and Wakpour. Against the cover 2, not really the best look, but really not good at those jump balls. I don't know if it's just NCAA. I feel like it's always been hard to get those jump balls with this. I don't know if it's the controller or what. Try one more time. We'll go for Scott and Walkpour this time. That's batted by Tyler Black. We don't even jump. And one more play here for Greg Walker. I don't think he did enough really to beat out Ruben Brown. But, you know, it's not like we're committed to Brown all season. I think at some point all these guys will get a chance to, you know, prove themselves. And now we'll get our first look here at Lawrence Jackson. I think how Greg Walker does have the impact player, though. I think that does have to, you know, weigh a little into the decision. I already kind of was leaning towards him, and even though he wasn't the best here in this practice session, the impact player there, I think it's trying to tell us something. So now we'll go here with Lawrence Jackson and see how this accuracy is. That's really the biggest concern with him. Well, this is a flex bone, wishbone we come out with Jackson. And pass over the middle, mistime that one. That was all me, of course. And we're probably going to switch from this fairly soon. Extends the play and throws it right at Armstrong. And Armstrong was not ready for that. Scramble to the right. Has a man over the middle, and that's Darby. And maybe he'll emerge as our leading receiver. He's been super active. Like I said, I don't think we've really seen, I don't think we've really seen Jordan Pinson much at all, though he was open on that play, just couldn't get him. Forgot I could call timeout. So what do we think about the numbers? Walker sporting 16, Jackson 18. I am probably more of a single-digit type guy when it comes to quarterbacks, but I don't really alternate or like customize these guys too much. I kind of just leave them as is. It's just kind of part of who they are, how they are generated, you know. I will do minor things sometimes, maybe a jersey number. I'll add a visor sometimes just to make the player look cooler if they were like an athlete. Like, so we had Mark Henry, the safety, and I made him number 3. Just I think that's kind of a cooler number for an athlete. Not really going too well here for Lawrence Jackson either. Let's go 4 verts. See if he can put that arm strength on display. Our offensive line getting rocked, though. Let's take a deep shot for Pinson. And I wish you can like catch those off the ricochet, but that's just never going to happen. Throw Norwood in as a blocker. Like, everyone's winning there on the defensive line. Maybe our offensive line is not as good as I thought. Look at, like, they're just winning the hand battles every time. Cooper, all right, he gets up there. Nice pass up the seam. Who's going to be our leading receiver this year? I want to hear your Lawrence Jackson breaks free into the second level. I want to hear, is it going to be Cooper, Pinson? Is it going to be Darby? Thad Archibald? I really like Archibald. And Rob Bain, he's got to be the MVP of this practice. Let's call a different play with Jackson. And that's another area, defensive tackle, mixing in Thurman, Battaglia, Bain. And we have a really good 4th string too, but I don't know how he's going to see the field. Nice route there by Darby, but again, couldn't get up for the catch. Try it again. We do that time. Nice route. A little late out of the stem, but let's try and get Pinson involved. Am I just not looking his way, or is he just not doing anything as Tyler Black almost picks it off? Let's try and try to get him deep there. Obviously, we're going to be better in the regular season. We're just kind of fooling around. Definitely a little casual right here. Same result again. We just can't get up. All right, Pinson, we got you, buddy. We got you. Oh, right out of his reach. Or he just didn't react. We got you this time. I promise. I promise, Pinson. Oh, he can get in the end zone, but we did get him. All right, we'll try one more time, then we'll do an option. We'll probably do a nice chip block there by Norwood. Oh, that's way overthrown. All right, definitely the last one this time. It's like when you're going, you're playing basketball, and you just keep shooting. Last one until you make it. But this time we didn't make it, and we'll call it on that. Get a triple option going for Jackson. Maybe do one more pass play after that. And then we'll do a speed option. Here we go. All right, so we got Storm Norwood with Jackson. Try to pitch it, but probably for the better. They took out the running back. Jackson gets a couple. Flip it. Nice hole. And pitching it's always risky, obviously. 50-50, it's going to end up a fumble. That's why I try not to call. Probably haven't even really called any triple options too much. Although Jake Haywood was our starter. Obviously not someone you want to run triple options with. Nice one there. Storm Norwood, no spin at all. Take out the quarterback, Tyler Black. Good pursuit there. Flip it, do like maybe one or two more here. It definitely shouldn't have pitched that one. It was experimenting, see what would happen. And yeah, that was over before it started. All right, we'll give Jackson one more chance through the air. And I think it's clear who the best quarterback was. No one really stood out too much. Like I said, more of a casual little session here. Not really taking it too serious. As Rice, nice interception. Jackson going across his body. Probably would have worked out better if he just stepped out. Yikes. This is not a good showing at all. It's just constant pressure, though. Armstrong there, and Jackson way off. As you kind of see his accuracy flaw. Carr wins that time. Cooper gets laid out by Davin Rice. And we're expecting big things from Rice this season at middle linebacker. Everyone wins up front that time, and Jackson fumbles picked up by Harris. That's what I'm talking about. Heads up play by the fullback. So that's going to do it. We'll call this one last play, and that's going to do it from the quarterback position battle here in the spring. I wish it gave you the option to play like an actual game, but unfortunately that's not how it is here in NCAA. But we're going to go back. We're going to check out some things around the nation and set the tone for this upcoming Year 3 season. So here's our first look at the top 25 here for Year 3 of this dynasty. The defending champ, Alabama Crimson Tide, open at number 1, followed by Ohio State at number 2. And the Buckeyes definitely should have been in the Natty last year, but they were snubbed as the BCS decided to go with UL-Lafayette, although the Ragin Cajuns almost upset the Crimson Tide in that game. Michigan State at number 3, South Carolina, Texas A&M, a couple SEC schools, 3 of the top 5 out of the SEC. Then Texas, the top Big 12 school, Michigan, USC, Notre Dame, Virginia Tech, the second season under Bud Foster as head coach, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Louisville, Virginia. They had a very good year, I think 12-1 last season. And they open against number 15 UCLA, so we'll have number 14 against number 15. I'm taking UCLA in that one. Georgia Tech, California, Stanford, Florida, Iowa, Georgia, UW, Clemson, Miami, and UL-Lafayette, who are going to be playing in Week 1. They come off a loss against the Crimson Tide in the national championship. They lose their head coach. They lose their offensive coordinator. They lose their quarterback, along with a bunch of other good players. So the team we're going to be playing, not really the team that made the national championship, but still a very good program, and they're going to pose a big threat for us this week. UCF there at 26, LSU. And we'll kind of just scroll down to our team, Northwestern, who we lost to in the bowl game last year. They open at 34. They'll open against number 18, Stanford, to begin the season. Michigan State, number 7, will open against Oregon State, who open at 39. ECU at 49 will play number 4, South Carolina, and that's actually where Ruffin McNeil, the former Pirates head coach, that's where he went last year. Kentucky against Georgia in Week 1, an SEC matchup. Penn State against Temple, Pennsylvania matchup there. Bama against Wisconsin, who open at 59, very low for the Badgers. And where are we? Are we at least top 100? And we do not crack the top 100. And we're at 117. We're not the worst. Miami, North Texas, Western Michigan, We're actually going to play UAB this season. It looks like they're the only team worse than we are here. So we're a C across, well, C overall, C offense, C minus defense. So we're not the worst overall team. Akron and Georgia State are under us, but other than that, we're tied for, the second worst team here with about 4 or 5 other teams. So we'll see how it goes here for our Marquette Golden Eagles. I think that the game is being a little harsh on us. We still are at a 1-star program, 72 overall, 72 offense, a 71 defense, but I think it's going to be a big season here for the Golden Eagles, and I think we're going to prove the doubters wrong. Now we'll get over to the Heisman watch, and Braxton Miller's gone. He's won it each of the first 2 seasons. So now we'll get a new front runner, and that's Johnny Manziel. Who else? Followed by Brent Hundley. Each of these guys were in the finalists. They were finalists last year. Skylar Miles for UW, J.C. Coleman, the only non-quarterback from Virginia Tech, and then Connor Cook for the number 3 or number 4 Michigan State Spartans. Quarterback heavy there, of course. And what about some All-Americans? Brent Hundley, Coleman, 2 guys there in the Heisman watch. Amari Cooper, Sean McQuillan, we'll see him later in the season for UConn. He opens as the first team tight end, 86 overall senior. Spencer Drango, future NFLer. Same here with Austin Blythe out of Iowa. We got on defense Travis Feeney from UW, Jordan Lomax, Nick Van Hoos, both corners out of the Big Ten, along with the Jared Wilson, free safety. Cammy Fairbairn is the kicker, Bradley Pinion, the punter, Ryan Switzer, the returner. And now the second team, we got Johnny Manziel, Duke Johnson, Todd Gurley, a couple of NFL guys, Ryan Kelly, first-round pick of the Colts. Got on defense here, Shaq Thompson, a future first-round pick. Jeremy Clark from Michigan. And that'll do it here for the All-Americans. I mean, independents, there's only like 5 independent teams, and we actually have a few. Gavin Battaglia, Daniel Armstrong, Davin Rice. Dylan Mackey is the first-team independent kicker over whoever Notre Dame has. And then for the second team, Theo Briggs, Norwood, Pinson, Cooper, Tyler Black. So we do get a few. I'm surprised we get a few independent All-Americans. And we are going to look into conferences. We'll do like 2 more years at least before we start looking into conferences. And we'll probably get to head towards maybe the American Athletic or even maybe the MAC. Although I think hopefully by that time we're a little above the Mid-American Conference. But who knows? To close, we'll just look at championship contenders. As we're here at 117, kind of where we rank along the nation. It doesn't really have us going up. We're going down to 120 and then 126, which would be the worst. I think, 126 is the bottom. So 2 years from now, they have us as the worst team in the nation. But we're going to have a very strong recruiting class, and we're going to prove that prediction wrong as well. So this is where I'm going to leave you, folks. Thank you so much for hanging around with this Marquette Dynasty. I know that quarterback battle may have been a little bland, but like I said, it was a little informal, just kind of messing around, seeing what we had to work with. And Ruben Brown I think maybe stood out the most. I really like the potential of Greg Walker, but it might be more beneficial for him to just sit out a little bit, watch the game, watch the functionality of college ball, and then if Brown doesn't pick it up, maybe at some point we turn to Walker or maybe even Lawrence Jackson. So this is where I'm going to leave you, folks. Let me know who you think stood out most in the quarterback battle. I know, like I said, it was a little boring, maybe a little dry, but hopefully you got something out of it and you enjoyed the episode. So as always, everybody, it's been real and be well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.